Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Da'na nabda'u min haythu tawaqqafna. So let's begin from where we stopped. Lesson number 5. And as we know that in this lesson we are discussing about ismul fa'il and ismul maf'ul for the verbs that are غير صحيح. And the verbs that are غير صحيح, that means that one of the root letters has hamza or tashdid or waw or ya. All right, so let's begin from mahdiyun. Okay, so mahdiyun is also on the pattern of ismul maf'ul, mahdiyun. As of now, we only know that it is on the pattern of passive particle, ismul maf'ul, and in the exercises, we will see how it has changed from maf'ulun into mahdiyun. Okay, he says, ad'uka, ad'uka. So do you remember what kind of verb is this? This is naqis, right? Da'a yad'u. And the root letters are dal, ain, and waw. Da'a yad'u and ad'uka, I invite you. And we know that when we have a verb and after the verb, whenever we have the attached pronoun, which is like ka, kuma, kum, then it will be always in the place of object, maf'ul bihi, the receiver of the action. So ad'u, I invite, fail plus fa'il, and ka is maf'ul. Li ziyarati, to visit. Mahadina, our institute. And we know that mahad is used for institute and mahadina is mudaf ilayh. Ad'uka li ziyarati mahadina, I invite you to visit our institute. Hadihi bitaqati, this is my card. وفيها عنواني وعنوان المعهد, and in it is my address and the address of the institute. هذه مبتدا and بطاقتي خبر, and again wow, as we know that this is واو العطف. فيها جار مجرور, and we know that after jar majrur, when this is the second part of the sentence, and this is jar majrur cannot be mubtada, so this is khabar muqaddam, and unwani is mubtada, wa unwan al-mahdi is also mubtada. So that's why unwan is marfu, it has dhamma. And fiha unwani wa unwan al-mahdi, and it has my address and the address of the institute. Ha refers to what? Fiha.
The card is the
Bitaqa. Bitaqa, yes, the card. And bitaqati, my card, we know that this is ta is used as mudaf ilayh. Aliya al-mutakallim, so my card, excellent. Al-mudiru, the manager. Ana mad'uun. So again, ana mubtada, mad'uun khabar. And mad'uun is on the pattern of maf'ulun. So I am invited. Li huduri, to attend. Mu'tamarin, a conference. Fi Pakistana, in Pakistan. So Pakistan, as we know, it's mamnu min as-sarf. That's why it doesn't have kasra. It takes fatha only. Ana mad'uun li huduri mu'tamarin fi Pakistana. I am invited to attend a conference in Pakistan. Ba'da ashhurin, after a few months. So we know that ba'da is used as special mudaf, and after that the noun will be always mudaf ilayh. That's why it is majroor. Asharun has two plurals, shuhurun wa ashhurun, and both of them are used in the Quran, ashhur and also shuhur. So ba'da ashhurin, after a few months. Sa'antahizu, all right, so this is intahaza yantahizu, I will take this opportunity. I will take hadhihi al-fursata, this opportunity. It's basically used in the context of aghtanimu, as we discussed in the previous lesson. Aghtanimu or antahizu, both of them have the same meaning. I will embrace the opportunity, or I will seize the opportunity. هذه الفرصة, sorry, so I will embrace هذه الفرصة, this opportunity. وأزور, and I will visit معهدكم, your institute. So why it is ending with fatha? Exactly. So azuru, I will visit معهدكم, your institute, inshallah, if Allah wills. And inshallah also we use it as an expression. سأنتهز هذه الفرصة وأزور معهدكم إن شاء الله. I will take this opportunity and visit your institute, inshallah. الساقي. Okay, سقى يسقي فهو ساقٍ. So it's basically saqin, and we know that when we use al with that, so the ya that was dropped comes back. As-saqi, and the cup bearer, or like they call it bartender, but of course here in the library there is nothing like that. So we will say the cup bearer, like the one who is serving the coffee. أَأَصُبُّ لَكَ مَزِيدًا مِنَ الْقَهْوَةِ يَا شَيْخُ. As we know, Hamzatul Istifham. Asubbu, I pour, laka, for you, mazidan. Mazid is on what pattern? Is it ismul fa'il or ismul maf'ul?
Ism file.
Ismul maf'ul always starts with ma. And ismul fa'il doesn't start with ma. Yeah, so that means from the context, like whenever we see ma, that means it cannot be the fa'il in the verbs that have 3 root letters, but it can be ismul maf'ul, yani the receiver of the action. So asubbu laka mazidan min al-qahwati, should I pour more coffee for you, ya shaykhu, O shaykh.
مزيدا is from زاد يزيد.
Exactly, zada yazidu, fahuwa zaidun, fadhaka mazidun. Perfect. Mahdiyun, la wa shukran, no and thank you. Asta'dhinuka al-ana, I will seek your permission now. Ya fadilata shaykhi, O honorable shaykh. Okay, asta'dhinuka, this is basically verb from number 10, which is like we have seen and ta extra, like astaghfirullah, I seek Allah's forgiveness. So basically this form is used when we are trying to seek something. So asta'dhinuka, I will seek your permission, or I beg your pardon. Al-ana, now, ya fadilat al-shaykhi, O honorable shaykh. And we know why ta has fatha. Yes, why
because
is that?
After the calling vocative particle.
Yes, when we use ya, and after ya, when we have mudaf, mudaf alayh, then mudaf will be always mansoob. Ya abdallah. Okay, excellent. Jazakallahu khairan. May Allah reward you. And as we can see here, jaza yajzi, and we know that the past tense is used to make dua. So jazakallahu khairan, and this is a verb that requires a maf'ulain. So jazakallah, so ka is maf'ul number 1, and khairan is maf'ul number 2. May Allah give you the reward. Al-mudiru, the manager. Ila al-liqa'i, so ila means to, and al-liqa'i, a meeting. So ila al-liqa'i means until we meet again. Until we meet again. Sahibatka salamatu, sahibatka. So again, we have the attached pronoun. Sahiba is basically to accompany someone. Sahiba, sahiba, sahibu, sahibat. So why it is feminine a verb we have used? Because as-salamatu is feminine. So that's why we have sahibatka salamatu. May safety accompany you. Fil halli, while staying. Wat tarhali, and while moving, while traveling. Yes. And al-halli, like we have in Surah al-Balad, la uqsimu bihadha al-balad wa anta hillum bihadha al-balad. Hillun, so hillun wa hillun, both of them are used while you are staying in this country or in this place. So fil halli, while you are staying, wa tarhali, and while you are traveling. So it will be translated as, may safety be your companion while you stay and while you travel. you might have noticed here, like instead of sahibatka salamatu, if you have noticed here in these countries like the Middle Eastern countries, they use rafaqatkum salama. Rafaqa yurafiqu murafaqatan, that also means to accompany. And if you go to the airport or when you are traveling and the people tell you rafaqatka salama or rafaqatka salama, if you are talking to similar person, may safety accompany you. And also we can say sahabatka salamatu, may safety accompany you fil halli wa tarhali, while you are traveling and while you are staying. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And in the end, he says, Assalamu alaikum to the manager. All right. Ajib anil asilatil atiyati, answer the following questions. All right. Man is Zairu, who is the traveler, or who is the visitor, in fact. Masmuhu, what's his name? And Lima Zara al-Mahada, and why did he visit the institute? Mahada, all right. Man is Zairu, who is the traveler? Do you remember? الزائر محاضر في معهد اللغة العربية بلاهورة. If you remember, yeah, he is a visitor, or he is a lecturer in an Arabic institute in Lahore. Ismahu Mahdi ibn Abdul Hadi, and his name is Mahdi ibn Hadi. And Lima Zara al-Mahda, and why did he visit the institute? Zara al-Mahda liyattali'a, yes, Zara al-Mahda liyattali'a ala manahijihi wa kutubihi. So he visited to have a look or to get some information about the books and about the syllabus. Az-Zairu muhadirun. Muhadirun is also on the pattern of doer, ismul fa'il, but this is from the extended derived form of the verb. في معهد اللغة العربية بلاهورة. اسمه مهدي بن عبد الهادي. زار المعهد ليطلع على مناهجه وكتبه. And he visited the institute to get information about the syllabus and about the books of the institute. Atuba'u kutubul mahadi. Yes. What will be the translation? Tuba'u. Is it active or passive?
It's passive.
Passive, excellent. So
Passive with istifham.
yes, Hamzatul Istifham, Tuba'u are sold, Kutubul Mahadi, the books of the institute. So are the books of the institute sold? Min aina yumkinu? Is it Na'am? Are you sure? Min aina
No, I said
yumkinu?
la.
It is
I said
fine in
la.
the Dawa center.
Yes, excellent.
Not
In the affairs.
Yes,
said
the center of religious or Dawa affairs. Okay, excellent. So first is aina yumkinu al-husulu alayha, and ha refers to
The mahad.
the books. Mahad is masculine.
Okay, husulu alayha. Okay, the books.
Alayha,
the
the books, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
the books. Okay, and why it is atuba'u? Tuba'u is used for feminine because kutub is the plural of kitabun. If we say kitabun, kitabun is masculine, but when we say kutubun, it will be feminine. And this is like this rule we have discussed several times, that the broken plural, yeah, the broken plural of the things, yeah, it is considered as hiya. So that's why we have the verb is feminine, and also the pronoun that is used is also feminine. La tuba'u kutubul mahadi, the books are not sold. ويمكن الحصول عليها من مركز شؤون الدعوة, and it is possible to get them from the center of Dawa affairs. Excellent. All right. تأمل المثال. Okay, reflect on the example. So here mithal means example. It doesn't mean the form of the verb. We know that there is mithal and ajwaf and naqis, but here it means reflect on the example. للفعل الأجوف for the verb that is ajwaf. Al-mabni'i, which is like constructed, lil majhuli, for the passive. So ta'ammal al-mithala, reflect on the example, lil fi'l al-ajwafi, for the verb that is ajwaf, al-mabni lil majhuli, constructed for the passive. Yani reflect on the passive form of the verb. Mabniyu, basically, you know that bana yabni fahuwa banin fadhaka mabniyun. Okay, so mabniyun means something that has been built, something that has been constructed. So whenever we see the word mabni, it doesn't mean that it refers to the noun which is mabniyun. That noun has been given a name that it does not change. The ending does not change. For example, Musa, the ending doesn't change. Yeah, but here it means when we say al-mabniyu lil majhuli, that means the verb that has been constructed for passive. And then we will say for the passive construction, we know that the al-majhul is used for passive. Thumma, after that, akmil, complete, and akmilin naqisa, then complete the incomplete. So a naqis here doesn't mean the category of the verb that is naqis. In fact, here it means the real meaning, something that is defective, something that is incomplete. Thumma akmilin naqisa, then you have to complete what is incomplete. And what is incomplete here? We can see here that here we have to put or provide with the verbs. Okay. Now, in the beginning of the lesson, we have discussed that for ajwaf, the passive for the past tense is a very unique pattern. Qila is used for the past tense passive, and this is the one and only like form of the verb that is used in Arabic language. No other form is used for this purpose, because we know that for the passive, the verb that we use is on the pattern of fu'ila, right? It will be always on the pattern of fu'ila, right? Yeah, but this is completely different. So you can just memorize it like this. Number one, if you want to memorize it. Number two, if you want to change it, you can see that always, like whenever you see alif, change alif into ya. And then we know that ya is compatible with kasra, and put kasra over there. And the ending of the madi doesn't change. It is always mabniyun. So it will change into qila. So the easiest way is to memorize it as it is. And if you want to know more changes, like how the changes took place, please refer to the lessons of book 2. In book 2, I think lesson number 26 and 27 and 28, we discussed about all the changes in detail. Here I will give you some tips, and we will take the patterns or the awzan only. We will take only the patterns, and we can memorize the I sent you a copy of the table. If you are able to memorize that table, that's it. You don't really need to go into the details like how and why it changed into qila. If you want to, that's not a problem. But if you know the pattern as of now, that will be more than enough. And this is a unique pattern that whenever you see like qila and biya, that means it is the passive tense for ajwaf. And it's the same for both. It's for ajwaf wawi, and it is also for ajwaf ya'i. Okay, so from qala, qila. Ba'a, bi'a. Qala, he said. Qila, it is said. Yeah, it was said. Okay, thank you. Ba'a, he sold. Bi'a, it was sold. Saqa, he drove. Siqa, yeah, it was driven. It was driven. Okay, and in Surah Zumar, we have this the verse number 71. وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِلَى جَهَنَّمَ زُمَرًا. And those who disbelieved will be driven to hell in groups. وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. And similarly, we have وَجِيءَ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِجَهَنَّمَ. From Ja'a, it will be Ji'a. Waji Surah Al-Fajr. Waji yawma'idhin bi Jahannam. And the day when the Jahannam will be brought forward. From Saqa, it is Siqa. Yes, okay. From Zara, Zira. Yeah, Zara, he visited, and Zira, it was visited, or he was visited. Zada, he increased. Yeah, Zida, it was increased. Okay. Khafa.
Something or
Khifa, okay. So from Saqa, we have Siqa. From Zara, we have Zira. From Zada, we have Zida. And from Khafa, we have Khifa. Khafa, he was like scared or he feared, and khifa, it was feared. All right. Then we have for the ma'lum lil ma'lum, al mabniyu lil ma'lumi, and now we have the passive for the verbs that are like active. We have here, so from qala we have yaqulu, ba'a we have yabi'u. So qala yaqulu, we know that this is ajwaf wawi, and ba'a yabi'u, this is ajwaf ya'i.
Yeah.
Okay, how do we know that this is ajwaf wawi or ajwaf ya'i?
You have to change it into present tense and say.
Yes, most of the times when we change it into the present tense, or whenever we look at the present tense, so if the waw is there, it will be shown over there, and if the ya is there, it will be over there. And similarly, saqa, yasuqu, we also have over there. Now, yaqulu, as we know that the mudari always starts with dhamma, and the second last letter always takes fatha. So it will be yaqaw and yuqaw, and we know that when waw is sakin and there is fatha before it, it changes into fatha. So it has become yuqalu, yuqalu. Or the easiest way is qala yaqulu, qila yuqalu. So this is, I know this little bit like, maybe it's in the beginning, it's a little bit difficult, but inshallah, once you get used to it, it will be a part of your learning and it will be very easy for you. So qila yaqulu, we practiced about this a lot in book number 2. And what you have to practice now, qila yuqalu, qila yuqalu. And you have to memorize only one pattern, qila, and one yuqalu. And every verb that you see, it will be on the same pattern. Biya yuba'u. Okay, so ba yabi'u. Yabi'u means he sells, and yuba'u means it is sold.
It is sold.
It is, yeah, it is sold. Now we're talking about the present tense. Okay. As saqa yasuqu, siqa,
Suyaqu.
yusaqu. Yes, the same pattern. Yusaqu, excellent. Yusaqu. So what we have to do, the first letter always takes dhamma, always takes dhamma. And the second one, change it into fatha. When we change it into fatha, what happens? Waw changes, waw will automatically change into alif, because when waw is sakin, then there is fatha before it, it changes into fatha. Yazuru, he visits. Yuzaru, excellent. Yuzaru. Okay, he is visited or it is visited. Yes, Yazidu, he increases. Yuzadu, excellent. Yuzadu, it is increased. Yakhafu, he fears.
Yukhafu.
Okay, Yukhafu. Now here, this rule that we have seen over here, this rule is not applicable here. Why this rule is not? Because, for example, we said from qala, we say yaqulu, we know that this is ajwaf, wawi. And when we say saqa yasiqu, we say that this is, or yasuqu, sorry, this is also ajwaf, wawi. But when we say ba'a yabi'u, we know that this is ajwaf, ya'i. But when we have khafa, yakhafu, what do we have here? Do you remember?
Yeah. Hifu.
La. No. Khawifa, yakhafu. It is basically khawifa. Okay, waw is there. It is on the pattern of samia. Samia yasma'u. Yeah. So when so if you don't see in the present tense, if you don't see waw or ya, that means it is also on the pattern of qala yaqulu. Waw is over there, but waw cannot be shown over here because it is basically yakhwafu. And when we have yakhwafu, the problem is the fatha will be transferred to kha, and waw will be sakin. And when waw is sakin and there is fatha before it, it changes into alif. That's why it is yakhafu. So the only thing that you need to remember that this is on the pattern of samiya yasma'u, khawafa yakhwafu, samiya yasma'u, khifa yakhafu. And what will be the passive? The passive will be the same. Yukhafu. Okay. So what we have to do? We have to only change fatha into dhamma. Excellent. So it becomes yukhafu. Khifa yukhafu. So qila yuqalu, biya yuba'u, siqa yusaqu, zira yuzaru, and we continue until khifa yukhafu. Now, ayyin al-af'al al-jawfa'a. Jawfa is the plural of ajwaf. ajwafu and jawfa'un. So ayin al-af'al al-jawfa'a. Now we have to figure out or specify the ajwaf verbs fil amthilat al-atiyati in the following examples. All right, let's see if you're able to figure out. Become bi'at siyaratuka ya Zubairu. Bi'at, and after that, of course, naib al-fa'il will be marfu. How much your car was sold for? Okay, where is the passive? Where is ajwaf?
بيئة أستاذ.
Bi'at, 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 bi'a, bi'u, bi'at. So bi'at, she was sold. What was sold? Siyaratuka. So your car was sold, ya Zubairu. He says bi'at bi'ashrati alafi riyalin. Yes, it was sold for 10,000 riyals.
10,000 ريال.
Yes. Bi'at, it was sold bi'ashrati alafi riyalin for 10,000 riyals. Okay. So bi'at. All right. هنا تباع الصحف والمجلات. Here, newspapers and magazines are sold. So we will say that magazines and newspapers are sold here. Yes. تباع, yeah, تباع. Why تباع? Because صحف is the plural of صحيفة and مجلات is the plural of مجلة. Okay, the broken plural of the, or the irrational being. Irrational being is also treated as singular feminine. تباع. يقال, it is said, إن, that هذه الأرض, this land, ستباع, will be sold بالمزاد, in the auction. بالمزاد, in the auction. It is said that this piece of land will be sold in the auction.
يقال
يقال, it is said, okay.
تباع.
Yes, تباع, it will be sold. Excellent. And sa means will be. It is used for the nearest future. Yeah.
Near future.
Yes, and we know al-ard is feminine. That's why it is تباع. It will be sold.
هذه.
Yes, هذه as well. Excellent. أيكال التمر. So we have kala, yakilu,
يقال.
kala yakilu, the regular form, and the passive will be kila yukalu. Yes, kila yukalu.
يقال.
Yes, all right. So ayukalu at-tamru am yuzanu. Yuzanu is on the pattern of wazana, yazinu,
يوزن.
and then it will be wuzina, yuzanu. Okay, wuzina, yuzanu. Ayukalu tamru. So is the date measured am yuzanu, or is it weighed? So do you yeah, is it measured or is it weighed? Okay. All right, so
Because measuring they give by that sa or something, is that like one vessel they
That's
will
right,
keep
yeah.
it and they will give it.
in the past,
And
exactly.
this is by weight.
By weight, yes. And you remember from Surah Al-Mutaffifin?
متفقين.
ويل للمطففين. Yeah.
إذا كالوا. What is it?
الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون
قالوا على الناس.
وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم
أو
يخسرون. Yeah.
وزنوهم.
كالا كالو. And when they give measure, they give in less. When they take in full. So from there we have yukalu. Excellent. وفي التنزيل, and in the Quran, وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون. وإذا قيل, and when it is said because of إذا, lahum, to them, irka'u. Yes, irka'u, you bend or you do ruku. La yarka'un,
or bow.
yeah, you bow,
And
they
they will
don't.
not be able-
Yeah. And when we connect it, lahum urka'u, so there will be not, we don't, this is Hamzatul Wasl, so we will
Hamzatul
not,
Wasl.
yes. So, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ ارْكَعُوا لَا يَرْكَعُونَ. And when it is said to them, bow in prayer, they do not bow. So if people don't, or if we don't bow here, like we don't do ruku here, how will we be able to do it on the day of judgment in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
That is also in the Surah
Yes. Yes, in the end,
No,
yeah,
like
so,
Qalam.
yeah, that's different, yeah.
Surah
Qalams, yeah. So that's why if we develop the habit of praying now, inshallah, and do ruku and sujood, then we will be able to do it inshallah in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. تأمل الأمثلة or المثالة, reflect on the example. لاسم الفاعل, for اسم الفاعل, and this is li ismi, and we know that the hamza of ism is hamza al-wasl, so it will be lism al-fa'il al-masughi, ism al-fa'il that is formed min al-fi'l al-muda'afi, from doubled verb, as we know that muda'af is used for double. Ya thumma akmal al-naqisa, then complete the incomplete. Yes, all right. Hajja, and it is hajjun. Asluhu hajijun, exactly on the pattern of fa'ilun, fa'ilun. And we know that when we have two root letters that are the same, then we have to do idgham, and the rules of idgham we discussed in book number 2. And here we will only see that when two letters are the same, then they will be merged into hajjun, into dhamma. And please remember that mudaf doesn't take kasra, yani in the past tense it doesn't take kasra, and in ismul fa'il it doesn't take kasra. So that is the easiest thing to remember, that in the past tense and even in the ismul fa'il it doesn't take kasra. So hajja, hajjun.
Hajjun.
Okay, and if we don't have tashdid, then what will be the meaning? That it will be basically
Hajja.
that will be, sorry, if we put ta marbuta, it will be hajatun, that means need. Yeah.
That is
So, yeah, as if there is a feminine, she will be hajatun, but if we read it without the tashdid, hajatun, then it means need. So that's why we need to be careful. We have to pronounce it with the tashdid. That means the female pilgrimage. Dhanna,
Zanun.
dhanun, and asluhu.
Zaninun.
Excellent. Dhaninun, fa'ilun. Okay. Marra,
Marun.
marrun, and asluhu.
Marirun.
Marirun. Okay. Dalla,
Dallun.
dallun. Okay. What's the plural of dallun?
Dallu.
Dalluna. Okay. Dalluna. Una.
And
Ina.
Dallina.
Ina. Okay. Una. Ina.
Dallina.
Yes. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Okay. So ضالين, those who
Mansub.
went.
Mansub.
Excellent. Those ضالين is of course on the pattern of ismul fa'il. Those who went astray. Yeah. So maghdub is on the pattern of maf'ul. غير المغضوب, maghdubi refers to the Jews, and ضالين refers to the Christians. غير المغضوب, so maghdubi is
It's
on
not
the
on the pattern
of
of Mansub, Ustad. It is not, it is ism something, file.
ismul fa'il, of
Dalin.
course. ضالين is ismul fa'il, exactly. ضالun, ضالani, ضالuna, ضالuna,
Okay,
ضالina,
Dallina. It will
ضالina.
come as Dallina. Okay.
Yeah, una, ina. You must get used to it now. Una, ina, we have been discussing from book number 1 now. So dalla, yeah, dalla, he went astray. Dallun, the one who goes astray. And dalluna will be the marfu form, and dallina will be the majrur form. And it will be dalilun, dalilun. Then we have dalla with dal, dalla, as we have discussed, like to indicate or to guide, and it will be dalun, and the real form is dalilun, right? Dalilun. Okay. Now we can have a look at the hadith here, beautiful hadith. Inna dalla ala al-khayri kafa'ilihi. So fa'il also here, and ad-dal also here. Whoever leads to good, he is like the one who does it. So even if we lead someone or we cause someone to lead to do something good, inshallah, we will also get the ajr for doing that. Inna dala ala al-khayri kafa'ilihi. Whoever leads to good, he is like the one who does good. And we can see here that here it is on the pattern of, or it is ismul fa'il from dalla yadullu fahuwa dallun. And then there is another hadith. يسلم الصغير على الكبير والمار على القائد. والمار, Have we taken marran? Yes, here. So now we can implement them as well. So the Prophet ﷺ said, the young should greet the old, the passerby should greet the sitting one. يسلم الصغير على الكبير والمار على القاعد. Now I would like you to please put the case endings and tell me what will be the case endings. We have discussed this many times. So when we say put the case endings, that doesn't mean that you have to give the i'rab. I'rab is different. Here we are only putting the vowel signs. I'rab means it is marfu or mansoob or majroor. And this is called just putting the ending signs. Ta'ammal, yes.
لل
Ta'ammal lil, okay.
للمثال مثالا
Mithala, okay.
لاسم الفاعل
Lismi, yeah. Lismi, because Hamza of ism is Hamza al-Wasl. Lismil fa'ili
المصوغ
al-masughi
المصنوعي
al-masughi
من الفعل الأجوف
من الفاعل
min al-fi'li
الفعل
al-ajwafi
الأجوفي
الواوي
two
al-wawi.
Al-wa-
Yeah, has kasra, okay, over there, excellent.
all kasra
Yes, yes, yes. Because
Yes,
here we have
أكمل
min, yeah, here we have min and here we have
Yeah.
li. Yeah, so you know,
Li,
harf jar
yeah.
is beautiful,
and
yes.
wala موصوف
So-
صفة as well.
Yes,
ثم
that's right.
أكمل أكملي
Akmil, akmilil,
أكمل لي
akmilil.
أكمل
ناقصة
ناقصة
Excellent.
ناقصة
ناقص
ما شاء الله. ثم أكمل الناقصة. Okay, تأمل المثال الاسم الفاعل المصوغ من الفعل الأجوف الواوي. So now we have an example of the verb that has been formed from أجوف واوي, and after that we have to complete the incomplete. And the example is here. قال يقول فهو قائل. أصله قاول. So please remember this rule that when we are dealing with the derived form of the noun, not the original root letters, the derived forms of the noun. So whenever waw comes after alif, or whenever ya comes after alif, that will be the coming thing. So whenever waw comes after alif, it changes into hamza. So that's the rule. And this is not the root letters. This is, of course, we are talking about the derived form of the noun. So why qawilun has changed into qailun? Because after alif we have waw. So that's the rule. That's why it has become qailun. And the other thing, the easiest thing is that from qala yaqulu, the doer will be on the pattern of qailun. So qala yaqulu fahuwa qailun. Zara yazuru fahuwa
زائر
zairun. And asluhu
زاور
zawirun. Excellent. Excellent. Sama yasumu fahuwa
صائم
صائم
saimun. And asluhu
صابر
sawimun. The next one we need to be a little bit careful. Nama yanamu
نائم
naimun.
نائم
Asluhu
ناوم
nawimun.
No.
Excellent. Nawimun. So again, this is nawima. Similar to khawifa. So because it's on the pattern of samia yasmau, that's why it will be nawima yanwamu, and after the changes it becomes nama yanamu, and it is confirmed over here, nawimun. And the Sheikh has told us over here, ainuhu, that means ainul kalima, that means the second root letter. Ainuhu wawun. So the ainul kalima is waw, which means the second root letter is waw, as we have put over here. Wa tadharu, and it appears fil masdari, in the masdar, naumun, naum. So sometimes we have to look at the present tense, and sometimes if you know the masdar, that hidden kalima, somehow it will appear. So the Sheikh says that the root letter is nawema, yanwamu, nama yanamu, and it appears in the masdar, and the masdar is naumun. All right, let's implement it. للصائم فرحتان يفرحهما إذا أفطر فرح بفترة وإذا لقي ربه عز وجل فرح بصومه. And this is also a very famous hadith that the fasting person has two moments of joy. When he breaks his fast, he rejoices at breaking his fast, and when he meets his Lord, the mighty and sublime, he will rejoice at having fasted. So Whenever we fast, we have ajran for that. One when we break the fast, and one when we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the ajr for that. And here we can see lis-sa'imi, the one who fasts. What will be the feminine of sa'imun?
صائمة
Sa'imatun.
Sa'imatun. Okay. The same text again here. أتأمل المثال الاسم الفاعل المصوغ من الفعل الأجوفي اليائي ثم أكمل الناقصة. And now you can put the case endings by yourselves. And now we have the examples of ajwaf ya'i. So ajwaf ya'i means that the second root letter will be ya. The second root
Ya.
letter will be ya. Excellent. So we have ba yabi'u fahuwa ba'i'un asluhu baji'un. And the rule number 2, as we discussed earlier, that when we have
Wow or
alif,
ya, it
yeah,
has to be
after
replaced with a hamza.
yeah, after alif, when we have waw or ya, and when it is not the part of the root letter. If it is the part of the root letter, we don't have to change it. But if it is not the case, if it is the derived form of the verb, like as we have here, then it changes into hamza. It becomes ba'i'un. Okay, mala yamilu. Mala means to lean. Mala yamilu mailun. Fahuwa
مائل
ma'ilun. Asluhu
ماجيل
majilun.
Ma.
Okay, majilun. Okay. Sara yasiru, to walk. Fahuwa
سائل
sa'irun. Asluhu sajirun. Okay. Asha ya'ishu. Fahuwa
Aishun.
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 Aishun. Fahiya
عاجيش
aishatun.
Aishun.
Aishatun, right?
Fahiya.
We have to put the marbuta, right? Aishatun. Okay, so Aishatun, if it is the name of a person, it will be mamnu min as-sarf. But if it is not the name of the person, for example, you want to say ana Aishatun fi Saudiya. I live in Saudi. So then it's okay. Then it's fine. But when it's the name of the person, only then it will be mamnu min as-sarf. Aishun, Aishatun, and asluhu Aishun. Sala yasilu. Fahuwa
Sailun.
sa'ilun. Sala yasilu means to flow. And we have fahuwa sa'ilun. And here sa'ilun doesn't mean the one who asks a question. Here it means something that flows. For example, sa'ilul yad. You might have seen, like when you buy the hand soap, which is like liquid hand soap, it is written over there. So any liquid in Arabic language, it is called sa'ilun, sa'ilul yad. So that means something that is used, that's something that flows, and not the person who asks a question. The person who
The
asks a
difference
question will
between
be,
that Sa'ala is here with the alif, it is there, that will be with Hamza no Ustad, that will be
yes,
Mahmuz,
here
I
it is,
think, in
yeah,
between.
yeah, that is mahmuz, and this one is with ya, basically. Ya is there, as we can see here. Sala yasilu, fahuwa sa'ilun, and asluhu sa'ilun. Sa'ilun. Okay, excellent. The same text again. تأمل المثال اسم الفاعل المصوغ من الفعل الناقص الواوي. And now we have the examples of naqis, wawi, ثم أكمل الناقصة, and then we have to complete what is incomplete. Okay, so naqis, wawi. So we are done with the ajwaf. Ajwaf wawi completed, and ajwaf ya'i completed. Now we deal with naqis wawi and naqis ya'i. And we have only 3 examples of each. Here it is da'a yad'u, so it was basically da'awa yad'uhu, and that waw has changed into alif, and it was yad'uhu, and when waw has dhamma and there is dhamma before it, it becomes sakin. That's why it is yad'u. Da'a yad'u, fahuwa da'in. Fahuwa da'in. All right, so now here, please remember that whether we have naqis wawi or naqis ya'i, whenever we talk about ismul fa'il, it always, or whenever we talk about, if you remember, the passive form of the present tense, then we will not put waw over there. We will only put ya over there. So that's why it is da'in, asluhu ad-da'i. Basically, asluhu is da'iwun, right? We have waw over there. But what happened, as I told you, that whenever we talk about ismul fa'il, or whenever we talk about the passive form of the verb of this verb, then it will be replaced with ya. Yes?
Ism mankhus also, it comes on the
It
pattern
is
of
called
this
ismun
one.
mankhus. Yes, that's right. Okay, that's number one. And number two, we can say that why we put ya over here, because ya is compatible with kasra. So there are two reasons. Whatever suits you, you can go with that. So basically, it is da'in, and when we want to put al with that, we know that the waw comes back, but we wouldn't put waw over here because we have ya, kasra over here, and kasra and ya are compatible. So that's why it is ad-da'i. In any case, we have to put ya over there. We cannot put waw over there. Naja yanju
Najin.
fahuwa najin. And when we put al with that, it will be an-naji.
An-Naji.
Yeah, and aslahu naji.
Aslu. Najiun.
Najiun. Excellent.
Najiun.
Yes. Then we have afa yafu. Okay, naja yanju. Do you remember the meaning of naja yanju?
Yes, to save, Ustad. To save.
To
from
save,
punishment,
yeah,
is
yes,
it?
yes. And then you take it to najja yunaji, to save someone from something, yes. Naja yanju, and then we have afa yafu fahuwa
Yes, to forgive someone.
afin,
Afin.
afin, and then we will have al-afi. So when we have al, then ya comes back, and asluhu will be afi one, afi one. Tala yatlu fahuwa
Talin.
talin,
Talin.
and
At-tali.
and
Taliyan.
at-taliyata, I'm sure you
Tali.
remember now. Talin and taliyatun are the one who follows or comes, and asluhu taliwan. All right.
Tali.
Now these books, they provide us very good practice. And we have a very beautiful verse from the Quran. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِي. Okay, and the ya has been dropped, and we know this is the uslub of the Quran, that sometimes like lakum dinukum waliya dini. So whenever you see that noon ends with kasra, most of the times that means ya has been dropped, and then the meaning confirms that. Ya al-mutakallim. So وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ أَجَابَ يُجِيبُ دعوة. It is the masdar of da'a yad'u. So da'wat ad-da'i, I answer to the call of the one who calls me. Ya idha da'ani, whenever he calls me. And when my servant asks you, servants, right? Okay. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, concerning me, indeed I am near. I respond to the invocation. Yes.
Ustad, one of a doubt. Da'ani. What is the reason of cut the ya here, Ustad?
As I said, this is the uslub of the Quran. I don't really know if there is any specific reason. We can say لِلتَّخْفِيف, yani just to make it like.
The Quran has certain writing pattern, Ustad. They say the rasam, right? So that is
Rasm al-Quran as well, yeah, and also it is takhfif for the reason of takhfif, yani to make it light so that it's easy to pronounce. And this is our own perspective, and also this is the uslub of the Quran, that in most of the verses, like the ya al-mutakallim gets dropped.
Okay, so jazakallah.
And such a beautiful verse of the Quran, where we have been encouraged to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever thing we need. We have to call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As there is a hadith as well, that even if you need the lace of your shoe, you must ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it doesn't say وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَتَقُلْ فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. It's not even that. It's like فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I am near, and I will listen to your prayer whenever you call upon me. And all the forms of da'a yad'u, and da'wa is the masdar. Masdar is also used, da'in is also used, and similarly, only mad'uwan is not used in the Quran. Du'iya is also used, and yud'a is also used in the Quran. So all the forms of da'a yad'u are used in the Quran, except for mad'uwan, which is on the pattern of maf'ul. Yes, that's right. Yeah, all the, as I said, yes, all of them are used in the Quran. تأمل المثال الاسم الفاعل المصوغ من الفعل الناقص اليائي. And now we have the examples of ناقص اليائي. ثم أكمل الناقصة. Then we have to complete this, and inshallah after we complete this, we are done for this lesson as of now. سقى يسقي. So why we say that this is ناقص يائي? Because the third root letter will be
Yeah.
ya. Okay, سقى يسقي. And فهو ساق, and أصله الساقي, or it is, as we say when we use this is basically saqiyun, saqiyun, sorry. So, and when we put over there, ya gets dropped and the ya will be replaced with
Like this waw and shadda, and here it is ya and shadda.
is there-
Nakhis wawi.
yes, there is no tashdid here.
Yeah.
Here we have tashdid because it's حروف الشمسية, right? حرف الشمسي. Yes, that's why. But in اسم الفاعل we don't have tashdid. It will be saqin. ساقٍ. سقى يسقي فهو
The
ساق.
shad will be in
About
the
the
maf'ul.
asluhu stuff. In the asluhu also it will not be there.
لا أصله will be ساقي. ساقي.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, will come with shadda.
Yes,
what
so
I was
we will see
No,
now.
no, it will
No?
come in maf'ul only.
Okay.
مبني, like yes, مسقي. Yes, okay. هدا يهدي فهو هاد and al-hadi. So here we don't have the real form. We only have the use of al with that. So whenever we use al, then the ya comes back. زنا يزني فهو
Zani.
زان
Danin.
and الزاني. الزاني والزانية. Yes, فاجلدوهما.
Nur.
Yes, all right. Then we have بنا يبني فهو بان,
Bani.
and the person who builds
Albani.
is Albani.
Albani.
Okay, so بنا يبني to build, بكى يبكي to cry, فهو
Bakin.
Baki.
باكن. بكى يبكي فهو باكن. بكى يبكي فهو باكن, and it will be الباكي. نسي ينسى to forget, فهو
Nasin.
Nas.
ناسٍ and الناسي. All right. Let me see if
I think it
there
will
is.
come in the next page for Majhul.
All right, so there is only one example here. وَمَن يُضْلِلِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ هَادٍ, and hadin, as we can see here. Try to figure out, whenever you are reciting the Quran, please try to figure out these forms, because we are learning them. Our target is to be able to understand Quran and to figure out all these. And mashallah, all the forms and everything that we have learned, I have tried my best to give one example from Hadith or from the Quran, so that we can implement straight away. Instead of waiting for the time, like when we are going to start the analysis of the Quran, we can start implementing straight away. Okay, yudlil. So what kind of verb form is this? Is this active or passive?
Passive.
Passive.
Passive is that?
Mhm. No.
Yudlil. Walala. Walala. Yudlil.
Look, please remember
It
that
is from Adlala Yudlilu.
Adalla
Ba'da
yudillu.
fa'al.
Adalla yudillu. Oh, is
Yes.
it on Aslama or that?
Aslama yuslimu,
Aslama
yes.
pattern.
Yes. Dalla yudillu means to go astray. Adalla yudillu means to cause someone
Someone
to
is
go
leading
astray.
them astray.
Yes, to lead someone to
Yeah.
go astray. Okay.
Like
If it
Adalla.
was lam with fatha, then Yudlalu will
Yes,
be
exactly. If we
passive.
have fatha here and if we have dhamma here, only
It's a
then
participle.
it will be majhul. So that's the reason why I brought it here as well, one of the reasons, so that we are able to figure out that whenever we have ya and it has dhamma, after that we have to look for fatha. If we have fatha here, if we have, like this is again out of the context of the Quran, the verse of the Quran, so only then we will say that it is majhul. And if we don't have fatha over there, that means this is the real or the original form of ma'lum. وَمَن يُضْلِلِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ هَادٍ, and whoever Allah leaves astray, for him there is no guide. نسأل الله أن يهدينا إلى صراط المستقيم. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to the straightest path. And with that note, we complete our lesson today. And inshallah, we will meet in the next lesson. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. جزاك الله خير.
وإياكم.